Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'm giving my full review of the LG Volt 2 on Boost Mobile. This has been a fantastic phone. I'm going to give you my thoughts of the phone, kind of go through all that I really can without making this a very long video tonight. So let's go ahead and get started in some of the specs of the phone, and we'll get into more as this video goes on. This phone runs Android 5.1.1 Lollipop. This phone has a 5-inch display at 720 by 1280 resolution, 294 pixels per inch. It does have an IPS LCD display with 70% screen to body ratio. This phone has an 8 megapixel camera on the rear with an LED flash. Records in full 1080 at 30 frames per second. Also has a front-facing camera up here that's 5 megapixels and can record in full 1080 as well. This phone runs a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 410 processor with an ARM Cortex-A53 64-bit processor with an Adreno 306 GPU with 1 GB of RAM with 8 gigs of built-in storage and around 3.6 gigs available to user, and it will support up to a 32 GB micro SD card. This phone's got a 2540 mAh battery with around 21 hours of talk time. It does have Bluetooth 4.0, and it does run LTE as well. This is a very good phone, and you know, when you're coming from the original Volt to the Volt 2, you're going to see a few changes whenever it comes to the phone, especially the design. The way the phone has a real nice curvy look to it. The back is only curved, the screen is flat, but the back is got a curve to it. And one thing that I want to clear up right now that I made mention in my last video was I talked about if the phone is laying flat, the speaker is muffled in the back, which is not the case because of the curved back. The only time that you will hear muffling in the audio is if you got it laying on a bed and your sheets or pillow or whatever could be covering up the speaker. That's the only time you'll get some muffling. Other than that, it's very powerful, has really good output. So let's go ahead and take you around the phone. On the front here is your 5-inch 720 display. You got on-screen keys for your back, home, and recents button. Up top here is your 5 megapixel camera. You also have a notification light. Your ear speaker here on top is your noise cancellation microphone, 3.5mm headset jack. This side is clean. The right side is also clean. On the bottom is your microphone, micro USB charging port. On the back is your camera, your flash, your volume up and down, and your power button there, and your single rear speaker. I'm going to try to pop off this back cover. And as you see, the battery is removable, and it is a disappointment to see a battery is only 2540 mAh, which is, you know, considerably less than the 3000 mAh on the original Volt. Up top here, you have your micro SD card slot on top, and right underneath it is your micro SIM card slot. So yeah, pretty cool. One thing I want to make mention right now is I'm kind of going a little bit separate ways here on this review here to kind of whatever pops into my head is what I want to be doing first, and just till I get this video done. And that's screenshots on this phone. And it's just like any other phone, the power button and the volume down button. But as you see here, they are very close together. And to be able to get a screenshot to where you can get both fingers in there and actually do a screenshot, to some with very small hands, won't be much of a deal. But for people with meatier hands, you'll end up hitting the volume button or the power button. So it's kind of a pain compared to phones with volume keys and power keys on the sides of the phone. So that's one thing to make mention of there. And everything else, the back has a really nice color. It is kind of slick, but it's not very bad, very easy to hold on to. Phone feels very compact. You know, LG does make some pretty premium handsets, and I'm really impressed with the Volt 2. And I gotta say, honestly, it is a good step up from the original Volt. Now we'll get into that here in a little bit, or I may wait and do the comparison between the Volt and the Volt 2. So we'll go ahead and power up the screen here with double tap. And as you know, it's October, so Halloween's getting close, and so one of my favorite movies is Halloween, so I got this lock screen here of the first Halloween movie cover. Pretty awesome. On screen here, the 720p display is really nice, very crisp, very clear, and there's really no issue seeing anything that you do as far as text, web, anything. It's very nice. The phone is very smooth. I have experienced little lag here and there. No really big issue. For the most part, the phone does run very smooth and has very little and very minimal lag unless you are really putting it through its paces. When you scroll down here, you have some shortcuts like Bluetooth, interruption, sound, Wi-Fi, quick memo, your brightness here. Also, your notifications show up there as well, as you see. Also, when the phone's turned off, if you want to see if you got any notifications or to see the time, just scroll down. You can see the time, and you can see your signals. Right now it's in airplane mode because this phone is not activated at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty neat as well. Double tap on this phone is really nice, especially if you haven't got used to the rear power button. You know, it is a little bit of a learning curve, especially if you're coming from a phone where the keys are on the side or on top. So yeah. We're going to go ahead right now and look at some of the benchmark tests that I did run on this phone. Antutu has already been ran. If it's not showing up or reset itself, I will not run it again. Yeah, 21,563. I run benchmark tests to give you an idea of what the phone runs. I don't go much by benchmark tests, but I kind of like to run them just to kind of give you an idea of how the phone runs. And when you go in here and look at the performance, the general performance is high at 60%. Game performance is a little bit low at 40%. And battery has 50% of average. So not too bad. Not a bad score for a 410 Snapdragon quad-core processor. Now, I'll go ahead right now and run a quadrant and kind of show you some of the speeds that I am getting on it. And while this here is running, I want to talk about call quality. Now, LG, in my opinion, and you know, whenever I do reviews, everything is based solely on my opinion. And to me, LG is lacking in call quality. This phone here has decent call quality. I do find myself using a Bluetooth headset more using this phone because it does have a muffle to it. And to me, since LG got away from their flip phones, which had exceptional call quality, going into these phones here, I feel that a lot of manufacturers, you know, want to, you know, beef up and kind of spec up and make their phones fast and quick, and the call quality seems to want to suffer the most. And I have a feeling that's the problem with LG, because the first Volt, the second Volt has always had a muffling to it, to where if you're driving down the road or if you are, you know, in a loud environment, it's really muffled. It's clear, but it's muffled. So I gotta say, call quality a little subpar in my opinion. Some will disagree, but that's just my opinion. So now that this test here is finished, we will look at the test, and this thing comes in at 13,688, which is a very respectable speed, and nothing really to complain about there. We're going to go ahead and run a Geekbench 3, and as you see here, 1.2 memory is 883 megabytes, and 5.1.1. So we'll go ahead here and run this benchmark. This phone runs very well. It does everything well. I have had a little bit of lag here and there, like I said. Of course, lower end phones, you're going to have that bit of lag, but it's nothing too unbearable. It's a really great phone, very well built, very solid phone. It's a lightweight phone, but it's just really nice. The curveness of it, the looks of it, it looks like a very expensive phone, even though it's really not. I mean, the phone retails at $149.99. And you can get the phone at Best Buy or in store. Places maybe like Walmart for like $100, which is a really good deal for the LG Volt 2 considering what you're getting when you buy this phone. And it's just great. Reception is good. Not had any problem with reception. I always seem to have a couple of bars of service in my low coverage area. LTE connects very well, get very good speeds. So all in all, this phone is a really good phone, and I highly recommend this phone. There has been times when I have loaded pages like on Google search. It takes a few seconds for it to load up and everything, but like I said, you can't have a perfect phone and a budget phone, but for what it is, for what it does, it's really nothing to complain about. So we'll go ahead and wait here, and if I am a little repetitive on some things I say, I apologize, but I will make sure I get everything in on this review as quick as I can. So let's go ahead and look at the results. What you see here is not really bad. 458 for single core and 1425, which is to be expected on this processor. A lot of phones I've tested that has the same kind of processor and everything has near the same score, and they all seem to run without many flaws. Right now, I am going to dialer. Also really nice, very spacious, very easy to use, and this phone is very easy for single hand operation, especially if you got medium sized hands. It's pretty reasonable to reach across, even though on the main screen you have room for 5 rows of apps, but as you see here I only got 4 rows because my hands are kind of small, so it's easy for me to reach over to like Twitter instead of having to reach way over here and possibly hitting the call and all that stuff. So, and you can also change these around, and I will show you that here in just a few minutes. Right now I'm going to get into the camera, which is a very good point in this device. There's not many features and everything. I'll kind of go in here and show you some of the features. For camera, you got 4.3, 16:9, and 1:1. Video, you have Full HD 1080 and HD at 720. Right there is to take a photo, say cheese, smile, whiskey, all that good stuff. Well, I said whiskey and it took the picture. It took another one. Self timer. 3 seconds, 10 seconds, and off. Here is your little grid. And you can change from your in storage to SD storage. So that's about it, really. And of course, your flash button here, on and off. We will switch around to the front facing camera. And it's very clear. And it's got a really good front facing camera. Pictures are fast. Really cool. Menu here, kind of the same. Pictures are 4:3, 16:9, 1:1. Front camera is HD and also Full HD. You also got a flash, and I will show you that here. If I got the phone upright, get the flash on, it brightens the screen up. So I will show you a picture here with the front flash on, and I will also take a picture with the front flash off. So looking back here, you'll see right yonder is the no flash and with the flash on. So it does kind of brighten up the pictures, which is really nice, and it's really nice on this phone here. The LG Volt also has the same thing. So I gotta say that this phone here has a very good camera, front and rear. No complaints. Of course, it's no professional grade camera. 8 megapixel camera on the rear, 5 on the front, and this has one of the best selfie pictures and videos I have seen on a phone for a budget phone to date. So very well made, And it's just a perfect little phone. It really is. I mean, if you want a nice 5-inch display running a 410 quad-core processor, it's really nice. So let's go ahead into some of the menu settings here. And I like this this little background screensaver. I've always liked the Halloween 1 box cover, and I found this on Zedge, which is, of course, an application where you can download wallpapers and ringtones and all that good stuff. So we'll go into the, well, I meant to go to the settings. And settings are pretty much standard. As you see here, airplane, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mobile data, all that stuff. Tethering, sharing, connect, sound display, and all that good stuff. Going to display here, this may be where the home touch buttons, button combination, and you can change the button combination to however you want to make it. If you want to switch them around, if you want to change colors to make it from the color black to color white, you can do that as well, which is really neat. And yeah, all that good stuff. Apps, storage, it has 8 gigabytes of storage. So far I've only got 716 megabytes available, and it does take 4.35 gigs away from the 8 gigs, which estimates around 3.65 gigs available to user. And so yeah, and I got a small SD card in there right now just to kind of, you know, have one in there. The phone runs very smooth. As you see, it's very fluid. It runs very well. I even done the update for the stage fright and not had any issues whatsoever with the update. The screen looks very good. I'm not really sure if my camera is doing it justice, but it's really, I gotta say, 720 with almost 300 pixels per inch. It really brightens up and it's very vivid and it pops out. It's just a really good smooth phone. Pushing the search bar up here, as you see, there is some lag. You know, where's the keyboard? There we go. It finally pops up. So that's the only kind of lag I've really experienced, is when you push Google search and it takes it forever for the keyboard to pop up. You know, but once it does that, it does okay. I think I have a couple of games. Temple Run 2. We're going to run it. We're going to see how it does on gameplay. Yeah, we're going to cancel. So here we go. Very little lag, if any. It's very smooth. Like I say. Little lag there, but like I said, it's to be expected. Gameplay looks very good. Colors look good. Looking through my camera screen, so if I die or if I fall off of something, then it's my own fault. But as you see here, I mean, it works very well, and it really responds to all responses that you do to it. So, you know, I gotta say, $100 for this phone off contract. And, you know, it's just an awesome phone. So, yeah, I fried. Let's go ahead and get off this game here. Well, there we go. There's the home button. I got one more game here I want to try as well. It's Asphalt 8, which is another pretty big game. It's over a gigabyte. So we're going to go ahead and load this up here. And I'm trying to keep this as short as possible. Hope I ain't boring y'all to death. But I really want to kind of get into everything with this phone, just to kind of show you, so I ain't got to do a 2-part video. Graphics look really good, as you can see here. I simply love this phone. I mean, it's perfect size. I gotta enter my age and if I'm a male or female or not. Sorry for the blank stare there at the wooden table. I thought I've already started this, but apparently I hadn't. So yeah, here we go. Always wants to connect to Google Play Games, and I'm just not going to do that right now. So let's go ahead and get into it. No tutorials. This game's easy to play, so. One thing I hate is ads. We might get to play here in a minute. Sound quality is very good out the rear speaker. It's very clear, very crisp, and no issues whatsoever. I will get into some of the negatives of the phone here in a few minutes. Not very many, but so far it's all been very positive. As you see here, let's zoom in a little bit. I'm looking through my camera, so if I don't drive too good, then excuse me. So as you can see here, it does have a few little lags here and there, but overall it plays games really well. And the game looks really good. So yeah, you pretty much get the idea. Games are decent. Even a big game like this here, when you push the home button, as you see, it does take a few minutes. All the apps are gone, and then they finally pop back up. So it does have, like I said, a little bit of lag and stuff like that. Now, as you've seen all the goods, I want to go ahead and give you a little bit of the bads. Whenever they made this phone, they took away a few things. They took away the solid build quality that was found on the LG Volt, which the LG Volt still is one of the best phones they've made for quality. It was built very sturdy. It was kind of heavy, and it was nice. This is kind of a lightweight phone that is still a very nice phone. The curved look is awesome. It makes it very good to hold. Like I said, the screen is flat and everything, but the back is a little curved, and that makes it awesome. Another thing is they removed the IR blaster for a remote control like you found on the original Volt. So not a big deal to some. Some liked having it, some didn't. I hardly ever used my IR blaster on my Volt, but it was nice to have. Another thing is NFC. They took NFC off this phone compared to the original Volt. Now, NFC was nice if you wanted to transfer pictures, stuff like that, just by touching the phones together. That was really neat, and I enjoyed using that feature. Unfortunately, the Volt 2 does not have that feature. But, other than that, also battery life. I don't like to tell people battery life, because battery life is going to always be dependent on how you use your phone. If I had to give my opinion on battery life, if you use very low to moderate usage, you can get through about a whole day, like from morning until late at night before your battery needs to be recharged. Now, if you are a power user and use it a lot for gaming, texting, calling a lot, I would say you would get through a good work day, maybe an hour or two later than that. Mainly because it's a 720p HD display and a smaller battery, it kind of eats up, But like I say, battery life all depends on your screen brightness. It depends on how much is running in the background. So battery life is mediocre to good. It's not the best by any means. If they could have put a 3000 milliamp hour battery in this phone, it would have been a whole lot better. But they opted not to, probably to reduce the price of the phone, which is a good thing. To an extent. Another thing about the phone, just a thumbs down to me, is call quality. Call quality is it's clear, but it's very muffled in certain situations. Some said there's not a problem with it. I've had phones that are 10 times clearer than the LG Volt 2. But other than that, the phone has been superb. It does everything and does everything well. The knock feature is really nice. I do like that. I used to really didn't like it that much, but when the buttons are on the back, it makes it a little bit easier just to tap tap back off. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about the LG Volt 2. If you got any questions or comments that you'd like to know about the LG Volt 2 that maybe I didn't mention, be sure to leave them in the description box below. Also, Boost Mobile has some pretty awesome promotions right now for those who want to port over their number or do an in-store upgrade, and I will leave some of that in the description box below. So be sure to always check out the description box for, you know, my social media sites, how to get a hold of me there, promotions, deals, stuff like that. So like I say, any questions about this phone, leave them in the comment section below. I'll get back with you as soon as possible. I hope this review helped you out a little bit. Please give me a thumbs up if it did. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel for future videos. I would really appreciate that. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all in the next video.